when we were in Singapore last year, Venerable Children gave a number of talks about compassion, ranging from more general talks like what compassion is and what it isn't, to a very beautiful commentary on Chandrakirti's homage to great compassion. But I think the talk on compassion that left the deepest impact on me in a very experiential way was a talk she gave on compassion in the workplace that was directed to a group of people we call high net worth individuals. So, they were CEOs, maybe second generation wealthy that spend their lives managing the family trust fund and so forth, and also founders of companies. And the setting was at some kind of exclusive club, so exclusive that the website doesn't tell you how much it costs to join the club. I suspect you need to know someone who refers you, one of those things. So we were all a bit like, huh, okay, interesting. And even on the journey there, like the taxi ride there with the person who was hosting and organizing, we're traveling into a part of town that we never go to. I mean, as a former Singaporean, these are things I know, right? I'm like, oh, we're in the financial district. Oh, we're in the club district. Where are we? That we just don't go as monastics. And then we get out and it's the Hotel Intercontinental, I think. Like, okay. And again, it's some squirreled away on some floor, again, in some kind of private lift, and you can't find the place. So all three of us are there wondering, like, what are we doing here? Because, it's like a very fancy setting. There's an open bar. Venerable had the good sense to say, do not serve alcohol tonight. I would never have thought of this, yeah. And just all the assumptions I made. So, she had to rest in an area while we waited. And Venerable Kunchung and I just looked around. And I was glad that I did not feel like overt aversion. Like all this old stuff I have about my assumptions about very wealthy people and all that, I've worked with this for a while, but there's some aspect I think of, like, from my side, I don't know what the right term is, but a bit of like moral high horseness, socialist holier than thou-ness, like, look, I work in the public service and you are just bilking the people kind of attitude toward the very wealthy, which is actually not accurate and quite unkind. There's that piece. And it's mixed in with envy, because I grew up in the middle class and you're looking at, that's who you're supposed to aspire to be, right? And growing up I had friends who were very wealthy and it was always like, wow, they live in this other world. So I'm not jealous because they're my friend. I just want to be part of the group. Yeah. I want you to still have what you have, but could I also join you on the boat? That would be nice. Yeah, so there's still those minds I have seen. So it was good to be back in that kind of setting and be like, okay, that's kind of at rest. And as I watched people come in, I could genuinely just smile and be friendly. And to see, okay, these are people, some people came with their families, it seemed, and there were just all these people filing in. And even before this, we were like, what is Venerable going to say to this group? I've watched her give talks on the 8 worldly concerns to people who are also considered wealthy and privileged, and just watch them like squirm. And I'm sitting there thinking, wow, Venerable's really courageous. You have a short window of time and she's just giving it to them about like, don't be attached to the wrong things, yeah? And this time, for this talk, I mean, the content was like a regular Dharma talk, yeah, but it's the whole setting and the audience that was different, right? Because these are people who are not going to go to a temple, but they will show up at the Hotel Intercontinental to find out how to have compassion at work. And she just laid it on about death. She was like, you are going to die, people. No matter how rich you are, you cannot take any of this with you. You are going to die. And I was like, that takes a lot of courage. And at a certain point, I was sitting at a corner and I checked out the row. There was a whole row of like men in one row together, and they were all sitting like this. And I thought, oh boy, they were so tense and like super not happy is what I thought. All 4 of them. I thought, okay, how's the Q&A gonna go? But at some point though, Venerable talked about how all of us just, it's part of the want to be happiness and want to be happy and not suffer message. I can't remember what she said, but something about how all of us, just want to be loved and accepted. No, it came from people who are very arrogant, who present that way, actually have very low self-esteem, right? That's why you need to puff yourself up, because fundamentally there's just a very deep need to be loved and accepted and know that you're doing fine. And all four of those men uncrossed their arms and looked relaxed. And I just thought, oh, I don't know, for me that moment was like a very felt sense of like, oh, actually, really, all these people in the room are not different from me in the ways I thought they were. Suddenly, I just felt like, oh, I'm sitting in this room of small children. I mean, I've been that child. I am, you know, who like the whole life is like, how do I make my parents happy, right? And that's very much the case, I think, especially in Asia, and especially if you're second generation wealthy. You are raised by your parent to take over their company or manage their fund. The whole purpose of your whole life is to live up to their expectations. You cannot lose the wealth your parent made. You know, that would be terrible, especially if you're the eldest son. I mean, it's tremendous pressure. And then, you know, you have to take care of all your sisters and so forth. But, you know, just all of us, I think, have wanted to make someone happy, right? A parent happy. And yeah, I don't know, just at that moment I just felt like, okay, that's it. Yeah, we're the same in this way. We just want to be loved and accepted. And thinking that making a lot of money is gonna do it, thinking that making your parent happy is gonna do it is totally the wrong way to go. Suddenly I felt like all these people are just living, it's like they've believed this lie they've been told, and they're going to follow this lie to its end conclusion, and then you die. It's not going to make you happy, no matter how much money you make. And, you know, we all know this. I'm preaching to the converted, but just to see why Venerable is really trying to bring this message home about death and to look at what your true priorities are, right? It just helped me to deepen a felt sense of compassion, that not only are you, you know, wanting so much to be happy and not suffer, you're putting your whole life energy into chasing down things that will only bring you misery. It's like, and at the time of death, you are just going to realize you've been cheated this whole time, and how painful and the kind of suffering that will bring. So the talk, you know, landed well, I think. Nobody ran out screaming, and people asked good questions, and hopefully planted some good seeds, right, for people to think about. But yeah, just to see the deep suffering of people who, we assume are living in the God realm just because of their material wealth. Also, it just brought home to me all the personal interactions we've had with friends who are considered the very wealthy, who are searching from some kind of answer, and they're tormented. The whole life is, you just can't get out of that circle of like, if I leave this group, how will I be safe? How will I be recognized? You know, this is what I've spent my whole life building. How can I give this up? And it really, again and again, it seems to me, it just boils down to, does my parent approve of me or not? My wealthy parent approve of me or not? Yeah, so to live your whole life like that is just so painful. During the trip too, I had an opportunity to listen at length to someone who married into money and what that experience was like. And it's basically like signing yourself into jail, it sounded like, you know, because that person, after getting married, could never go anywhere without a driver. Yeah, she said, well, she basically lost her freedom, right? She had been working, you know, had looked like she enjoyed the independence of being one of the first generation of women to go out to work, to make your own money, right? But then once she married someone who was very wealthy, that was the end of it. You have to go everywhere with a driver. You have to look a certain way, dress a certain way. You can only be with certain people. And by the way, now you're running the whole household since you're the spouse of the eldest son. And everybody hates you, by the way. It's like, whoa. You know, just the kind of the intricacies of the family politics. Yeah. And also, just how the money corrupts all your family relationships. You know, it just colors all of it. Your siblings are the people who are competing with you for the inheritance or the better position at the family company. It's a rivalry from the start. And then of course and to see too, like even the parent-child relationship, if all your relationship with your father is the time you've spent in his office, him teaching you the ropes for you to take over, that's the primary point of connection. How, to me, that seems very painful, because of course I didn't have that kind of life growing up. I had a very happy family life. I mean, with, very kind parents, who expected different things, but, were at least not kind of grooming me to run the family business and saw me as some kind of object that way. Yeah. So it was very helpful in that sense. And I think this is very much alive in my mind, because when you look at the news, it just looks like, there's a lot of discussion about what wealthy people are doing to this country, and the world, really, and what to do and how to respond. And just remembering these incidents reminds me that, they are very much in pain and suffering. That does not mean that you can go and make other people suffer, right? There are sets of policies or things that still need to be done to address inequality and injustice and so forth. But at the most basic level, I can try to hold a sense of compassion, right? To remember, really, based on the conditioning, based on everything that the way society is structured, the world that folks who are very wealthy choose to live in and build up around themselves and then cannot escape from, it's very, very painful, not just in this life, but it's going to have really horrible ramifications in future lifetimes as well. It is not at all happiness. So, and to spend multiple lifetimes doing that, right? Again and again and again. All you do to try and keep that wealth for yourself and your family, and it just comes to death and rebirth and death and rebirth. Like, how long do you want to do this for? So I'm very grateful to have had that little opportunity to be at the Club 1880 and to experience a sense of compassion in a very different way. So
we do the practices with this aspiration to be a benefit to beings, not to harm them, benefit them. And in our understanding, the best benefit is to actually, for beings to be liberated cyclic existence, and we aim to become Buddhas in order to help beings to be free in this way. So generate those thoughts in your own way. So Venerable Chodron has laid out this sadhana for us, helping us to generate these various mind states. And she starts by having us think about all of our potential, all the kind of positive qualities that we can develop. Infinite love, compassion, wisdom, skillful means. So imagine what it would feel like to be those qualities. Just let yourself be love, wisdom, try to feel the expansiveness and peace in your heart, the wisdom that it takes to have this kind heart, to be unencumbered in any way, vast and expansive. reaching out to every being, human and otherwise, to benefit each one. So now imagine that these qualities of love, compassion, wisdom, skillful means appear in front of you in the form of Shakyamuni Buddha. So imagine this Buddha in front of you, in the space in front of you made of radiant, transparent light. He's sitting on a throne, above which is an open lotus flower and cushions of the sun and moon discs. This entire visualization is made of radiant, transparent light. But you're imagining a living being with a light body. So you feel yourself in the presence of the Buddha. But Buddha's body is golden in color. He wears the robes of a monastic. His right hand, with the palm down, rests on his right knee. The earth-touching mudra. And his left hand is in his lap holding a bowl of nectar. And this nectar is the medicine to cure our afflictions and all of our hindrances. And the Buddha's face is very beautiful. You can look at the Buddha's eyes. He's smiling. His eyes are smiling. He's looking at you with total acceptance. And as he looks at you, he's also encompassing all sentient beings. The Buddha's eyes are very peaceful, long and narrow. His lips are red and his earlobes are long. Imagine rays of light radiating from every pore of the Buddha's body. This golden light going out to all the parts of the universe, touching beings, carrying miniature Buddhas to help beings. And as they complete their work, they dissolve back into the Buddha. The Buddha is surrounded by the entire lineage of spiritual teachers, all the meditational deities, innumerable other Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Arhats, Dakas, Dakinis, Dharma protectors. And at the side, near each spiritual mentor, is an elegant table, and on it are Dharma books. The sounds of the Dharma fill the air. And they're all so happy that we're here doing this together. Imagine their minds just blissful and peaceful, gazing at all sentient beings. So you imagine that actually you were surrounded by all sentient beings in human form. Your mother of this life is on your left. Your father of this life is on your right. Any people you have difficulty with, you imagine in front of you, facing the Buddha, keeping them there for protection. Family and friends are nearby. Countless strangers fill the space around you. And all of us are looking to the Buddha for guidance. So first we need to cultivate a sense of refuge, so we think of all the dangers of cyclic existence. Just think about how things are not secure. Run into dissatisfaction, often, dukkha, often. And people beings around us, all the sentient beings around us, are also in the same boat, floundering in cyclic existence. And many of them have not met any kind of teachings that will help them out of this quagmire. So we generate compassion. And now think of the wonderful qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and generate this sense of confidence in them, in their ability to guide you out of all of these recurring problems. To take refuge, we need causes, this kind of concern, this kind of alarm, fear, and also this confidence and faith, and the compassion. So it is possible, on the basis of your present life and mind, to free yourself from all of these undesirable experiences. So resolve to explore that possibility to the fullest. Feel great trust and confidence in the three jewels, and open your heart to rely upon them to guide you and others from all of these difficulties of cyclic existence, and bring us to the peace, liberation, and full awakening. So as we do these refuge verses, starting here, now we're on the top of page 21, we'll be taking refuge in the Buddha, and we imagine actually leading all of the sentient beings around us and going for refuge. And we visualize white, radiant light flowing from all of the Buddhas, the spiritual mentors, the Bodhisattvas, all of these holy beings flowing into us and all the beings around us. And this light completely purifies all of our destructive karmic imprints and afflictions. And it also brings all the realizations of the path. So put your hands in prayer position. Namo Guru Vya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dharmaya. Nama Sangaya. Namo Guruvya. 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 Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dharmaya. Nama Sangaya. So feel that you've come under the protection of the three jewels. And now we turn our thoughts to others and think about how much we depend on other beings for everything that we have, everything we know, everything we use, everything we enjoy. Our food, clothing, resources of every kind. These come due to the efforts of others. Our knowledge, talents, good qualities, these too are developed due to the kindness of others. And our ability to practice the Dharma certainly depends on others who brought the teachings to us over the millennia by generating realizations in their mind and teaching. So this is a very great kindness, all of these things we want to bring to mind. Our innermost wish is to be free from suffering. And this is the case for everyone else as well. We want to be happy. All beings want to be happy. And like us, they encounter many difficulties, problems, sufferings. And usually, actually, their difficulties are more so than our own. Not always, but often. And when we examine our capacity to help beings, we find that we're actually quite limited. And we know from our practice that if we can reduce our anger, our attachment, our ignorance, our various faults, and if we can increase all of our good qualities, we're really going to be in a position to benefit beings. Imagine if we had just this generous heart that gives so easily, takes delight in giving, the kind of ethics that doesn't harm, has that just ingrained. Fortitude, loving kindness, compassion, wisdom, will be in excellent position to help beings by having our good qualities developed. And if we develop them fully, like a Buddha does, then we'll be able to be of the greatest benefit to beings. So we generate this altruistic intention in order to be able to benefit beings most effectively. So as we take refuge and generate bodhicitta, imagine that light is flowing into you from all of these Buddhas and holy beings, and it's flowing into you and all the sentient beings around you. So we're on the top of page 22. I take refuge until I have awakened in the Buddhas, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By the merit I create by engaging in generosity and the other far-reaching practices, may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I have awakened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By the merit I create by engaging in generosity and the other far-reaching practices, may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I have awakened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By the merit I create by engaging in generosity and the other far-reaching practices, may I attain Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. So imagine the Buddha is so pleased with your altruistic intention. And a replica emerges from the Buddha, comes to the crown of your head, melts into golden light, and flows into you. Feel that you and the Buddha have become inseparable. Feel very close to the Buddha and allow your mind to be transformed and inspired. Let go of all conceptions you have about yourself. Let go of any self-denigrating thoughts. Let go of the concept of inherent existence and meditate on emptiness. At your heart appears a small Buddha made of light. He radiates the light of wisdom and compassion in all directions throughout the entire universe. And this light transforms all sentient beings into Buddhas and all environments into pure lands, which are places where all the circumstances are conducive to practicing the Dharma and generating realizations. So imagine this. You've transformed all sentient beings into Buddhas and all environments into pure lands in your imagination. But why hasn't this become a reality? We sentient beings have bias, prejudice. We lack love, compassion, and joy. So now we want to wish ourselves and others to have all of these qualities. So we contemplate the four immeasurables. We do this to reinforce our own felt experience of love, compassion, joy, and equanimity for everyone. Friends, strangers, enemies, relatives, people you don't like, people you don't trust, anyone, everyone. So as we say those four immeasurables, you want to listen to yourself say the words and contemplate as you recite. We'll pause between each of the four. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free of suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings not be separated from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment, and anger. So, in order to achieve what we've just been aspiring towards, we need to purify our negativities, and we need a lot of merit. We need to abandon things and adopt things. So when we do this 7-limb prayer, this encompasses all this abandoning and adopting of things. So we'll pause after each line. And you want to have your hands in the prayer position for this. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind. So imagine yourself and all the beings, the sentient beings around you, making prostrations to all the holy beings in front of you in the field of merit, repeatedly prostrating. And present clouds of every type of offering, actual and mentally transformed. So imagine offering everything beautiful to the Buddha and all the holy beings. You can fill the sky with offerings. Make it very lovely and beautiful. You can think of flowers and fields and just everything that you love. Offer to all the holy beings. You can do this repeatedly. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginning this time. So now we do like a glance meditation of the four permanent powers. So for this, bring to mind something that you wish to purify, some fault or mistake. Bring it clearly to mind and generate regret for that. And then the other permanent powers are taking refuge and generating bodhicitta, which we're doing in the practice. The practice itself will be the remedial action, but make a determination not to do this action again. And rejoice in the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. So think of common sentient beings like ourselves, the holy beings, and delight and rejoice in all of the virtue created by any kind of being. Let go of any jealousy, envy, and just rejoice in the goodness of the world. Use your own life experience. Think of things, people that you want to rejoice. And the next verse. Please remain until cyclic existence ends. So now we offer a double dorje. This symbolizes long life. We offer this to the holy beings. We do this requesting them to live long, to always be a part of our life. And you can do this multiple times in your imagination. And then the next verse. And turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. So again, make this offering. You're offering with both hands this beautiful 1,000-spoke Dharma wheel, golden in color. Offering this to the teachers and the Buddhas to guide you and to continue to teach the Dharma. And then the seventh limb. I dedicate all the virtues of myself and others to the Great Awakening. So now we steer these limbs toward full awakening of ourself and all beings. And now we'll offer the mandala. Here we imagine everything beautiful in the universe, offering it to all the holy beings with the wish that they will continue to teach and guide us and that we can generate realizations in our mind. This ground anointed with perfume, flowers strewn Mount Meru, for land, sun, and moon, imagined as a Buddha land and all to you. May all beings enjoy this pure land. The objects of attachment, aversion, and ignorance, friends, enemies, and strangers, my body, wealth, and enjoyments, I offer these without any sense of loss. Please accept them with pleasure and inspire me and others to be free from the three poisonous attitudes. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Niryatayami. So imagine all the holy beings are just delighted and they receive your offerings. And the offerings melt into light and dissolve into them. And these all absorb into the Buddha's heart. And then immediately he radiates light back to you, filling your body and mind. And this light inspires you to accomplish the path to full awakening. So in order to progress along the path, we need to develop realizations. And in order to do this, we need the inspiration of the lineage of spiritual mentors, especially your principal teacher or your root guru, who is the one who has touched your heart deeply. If you don't have a specific teacher, just think about Shakyamuni Buddha, or maybe you have a connection in your mind with His holiness. And we make this request, page 25. Glorious and precious root guru, sit upon the lotus and moon seat on my crown, guiding me with your great kindness. Bestow upon me the attainments of your body, speech, and mind. And so then, at this point, you imagine that a replica of your teacher in the aspect of the Buddha emerges from the Buddha in front of you. And it comes to sit on a lotus and moon disc on the crown of your head, facing the same direction as you. So then this Buddha on the crown of your head is going to act as an advocate for you to request inspiration from the entire field of merit as we continue with the request. And we're doing the long one on page 26. Buddha, unequal teacher and guide, venerable protector Maitreya, successor, superior Sangha prophesied by Buddha, to you three Buddhas and Bodhisattvas I make request. Buddha, head of the Shakya clan, the foremost guide, peerless in expounding emptiness, Manjushri, embodiment of the Buddha's complete wisdom, exalted Nagarjuna, best of the superiors who sees the profound meaning, to you three crowning jewels of clear exposition I make request. Atisha, upholder of this great vehicle, who sees the profundity of dependent arising, Drome Rinpoche, elucidator of this good path, to these two ornaments of the world I make request. Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of obligacious compassion, Manjushri, masteress, flawless wisdom, Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the snowy land sages, Losangdrapa, I make request at your feet. Holder of the white lotus, embodiment of all the conqueror's compassion, guide benefiting migrating beings in the land of snow mountains and beyond. Sole deity and refuge, Tenzin Gyatso, at your feet I make request. The eyes through whom the vast scriptures are seen, supreme doors for the fortunate who would cross over to spiritual freedom, illuminators whose wise means vibrate with compassion. To the entire line of spiritual mentors I make request. So imagine all of the figures in the field of merit melting into light and dissolving into you. Into the central figure of the Buddha in front of you. All the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, the Arhats, Dakas, Dakinis, Dharma protectors, all of these beings melt into light and dissolve into the central figure of Shakyamuni Buddha. And now Shakyamuni Buddha embodies the three jewels. And this Buddha absorbs into the Buddha on the crown of your head. And then as we recite the Buddha's mantra, try to let your mind be very open and receptive. Imagine this white light flowing into you from the Buddha in the crown of your head. It purifies all your negativities, all your obscurations, and it generates within you the realizations of the stages of the path. So we'll recite the Buddha's mantra together. Tayata Om Mune Mune Maha Mune Soha. 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 Now, re-establish the visualization of Shakyamuni Buddha above the crown of your head, made of golden, transparent, radiant light, a living being. And this Buddha melts into light and dissolves into you. Your body, speech, and mind become inseparable from those of the Buddha. the dedication prayers, starting on the page that we're on in the sadhana, which is 27. Due to this merit, may we soon attain the awakened state of Guru Buddha, that we may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious Bodhi mind not yet born arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. Everything in between. So you may have to do some things just to get your mind settled. So that, I think that's very helpful. I do that every session. I do the preliminary practices in my mind. So the other repetitive practice, so that when I start a session, I'm trying to get to an even keel just to get going. And then set it.
Well, I keep saying, de-emphasizing the
vibrations, you know, are like the strings on a harp. And the harps that the angels are supposed to play in heaven are really this huge possibility. Possibility. So when you play the harp, you select strings. You don't play all the strings. It's stupid to just run your finger along the whole edge of the harp, back and forth, back and forth. What you do is you pick out your fingers, select just like on the piano. You pick out certain notes, and these make the patterns. But at the same time as you pick out, you reject what you don't pick out. But it's all there, constituting a fundamental continuity, the kind of continuity of the thread as they go to the back of the woven material and make up the obverse of the pattern that's on the front. Now, the question that is absolutely basic for all human beings is, what have you left out? What have you left out? What have you left out? Really? You are focused on certain things that constitute what you call everyday reality. Look, you single out people, and you see them sitting all around. Sitting all around. And you know there are things that are really there. And then behind the people are the houses or whatever we live in, the earth, and behind all that the sky, and so on. But web of life. Let me try from the first to indicate the point that we're aiming at. The point is this, that human consciousness is at the same time as being a form of awareness, sensitivity, and understanding. It's also a form of ignorance. space surrounding the sun will be black darkness, as if there were no light in it, unless a planet happens to float by. When a planet floats by, there will be light. In the darkness. But if there isn't anything to relate to the sun in that way, then comes no light. Now this goes right
evolve faster than our language. The edge of being is the edge of meaning. And somehow we have to push the edge of meaning. We have to extend it. Because if we appear to be confronted by insoluble problems, it's because we have the wrong language for dealing with this problem. Learn that with computers. Certain languages are good for certain kinds of problems. We have to constantly evolve language and push it forward. So what I do, I'm a meme spreader. What I do, I'm a meme spreader. What I do, I'm a meme spreader. Meme spreader. A meme replicator.
Do you know, Asclepius, that Egypt is an image of heaven? Or to speak more exactly, in Egypt, all the operations of the powers which rule and work in heaven are present in the earth below. In fact, it should be said that the whole cosmos dwells in this our land, as in a sanctuary. And yet, since it is fitting that wise men should have knowledge of all events before they back to the right path those who have gone astray. He will cleanse the world of evil, washing it away with floods, burning it out with the fiercest fire, and expelling it with war and pestilence. And thus he will bring back his world to its former aspect, so that the cosmos will once more be deemed worthy of worship and wondering reverence. And God, the maker and maintainer of the mighty fabric, will be adored by the men of that day with continuous songs of praise and blessing. Such is the new birth of the cosmos. It is a making again of all things good, a holy and awe-inspiring restoration of all nature. And it is wrought inside the process of time by the eternal will of the Creator. Oh, Egypt, Egypt. Oh, Egypt, Egypt. Oh, Egypt, Egypt. Of thy religion nothing will remain but an empty tale.
Sometimes life is like this dark tunnel. You can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel. But if you just keep moving, you will come to a better place. Just keep moving. You will come to a better place. Just keep moving. You will come to a better place. It is important to draw wisdom from many different places. If you take it from only one place, it becomes rigid and stale. Understanding others, the other elements, and the other nation will help you become whole. It is usually best to admit mistakes when they occur, and to seek to restore honor. Perfection and power are overrated. I think you are very right to choose happiness and love. Sometimes life is like this dark tunnel. You can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel. How to stop the laziness and how to stop the procrastination. They have some idea in their head, some kind of a vision, what they want to do, but they don't know where to start. And they say, hey, where do I start? And when's the best time to start? Where do I start? And when's the best time to start? Where do I start? And when's the best time to start? And I have a very simple answer for that. Here. And now. That's it. You want to improve? You want to get better? You want to get on a
You start right here. And when do you start? You start right now. Right now. Right now. You initiate the action aggressively. You want to improve? You want to get better? You want to get on a workout program or a clean diet? You want to start a business? You want to write a book or make a movie or build a house or a computer or put together some mobile application? The idea isn't going to execute itself. And the book isn't going to write itself. And the weights out in the gym, they're not going to move themselves. You have to do it. And you have to do it now. And that means you gotta stop thinking about it and stop dreaming about it and stop researching every aspect of it and reading all about it and debating the pros and cons of it. Just start doing it. You want to improve? You want to get better? You want to get on a workout program or a clean diet? You want to start a business? You want to write a book or make a movie or build a house or a computer or put together some mobile application? You want to improve? You want to get better? Go. You want to improve? You want to get better?
thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale said this: "This is one of the greatest laws in the universe. Fervently do I wish I had discovered it as a very young man. It dawned upon me much later in life, and I found it to be one of the greatest, if not my greatest discovery outside of my relationship to God. And the great law, briefly and simply stated, is that if you think in negative terms, you will get negative results. If you think in positive terms, you will achieve positive results. That is the simple fact, which is at the basis of an astonishing law of prosperity and success. In 3 words, believe and succeed. Believe and succeed. Believe and succeed. Believe and succeed. Believe and succeed.
You want to rebel against your parents? Cool. You want to rebel against society? Cool. Rebel by working harder than everyone else. That's the best form of rebellion. Sure, you can go and rebel against them by cutting school, not studying. That is a form of rebellion. And guess what? You're the one that loses. So instead of doing that kind of rebellion, rebel by winning. Rebel by winning. Rebel by winning. Winning. Rebel by getting smarter. Rebel by working harder. Rebel by getting stronger. Rebel by winning. Instead of going backward, instead of decaying, get stronger. Get better. Grow and learn and develop and live. Live in defiance of the weakness, in rebellion against the decay. Fight them as they creep in with their offers of instant gratification and immediate rewards. Fight them for every inch they try to take. Do not surrender any ground ever. Hold the line. Hold the line. Rebel by winning. Rebel by winning. Winning. Rebel by getting smarter. Rebel by working harder. Rebel by getting stronger. Rebel by winning. Rebel by winning. Rebel by winning. Winning. Rebel by getting smarter. Rebel by working harder. Rebel by getting stronger. Rebel by winning. I defy winning. I win here and I win there. Now what? Let's just do it. Let's put the head on. You were in it to win it. It's just winning or you're losing. Nothing in between. Winning. I was fat. So I talk about it. Go ahead and say something, motherfucker. I was fat too. And it was hard as fuck every fucking day to get up. I know what it feels like. When you roll your fat ass out of bed and all you want is some fucking damn cinnamon buns and shit and fucking chocolate milkshake. I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. But I can't want it more than you. And so many people narrative about themselves that make it okay. The ultimate get out jail free card, and now the world is set up to have so many get out jail free cards. Everything is okay, and you can't say a motherfucking thing about it. Not okay. It's not acceptable. You know it's your life. If that's acceptable, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. You know it's your life. That's unacceptable. They're just saying it's okay. That's not okay. That's not okay. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. You know it's your life. That's unacceptable.
into this kind of thinking and you're hearing the ocean of the universe going. And that's your breathing too. It's all one rhythm. So it may be that every star was once a planet populated by intelligent people who found out about the fundamental energy of the universe, blew themselves up. And as they blew up, they scattered all kinds of stuff out which became little planets. Which in a long time, life started all over again.
I'm deep in the cookie jar. The cookie jar is something that I've made up of all the failures of my life. All the things that I failed and I went back. I failed and I went back and I finally succeeded. All the things that kicked my ass. I put them all in the cookie jar because at times of hell, even the hardest men, in times of suffering, what we do is we forget how hard we really are. Because that's what suffering is. Suffering is a test. That's all it is. Suffering is a true test of life. And so that cookie jar travels in my brain. So whenever I get put in a situation where I have poopy pants, the one with me mentality of, oh my God, life sucks, I take the 1 second decision. I step out of my life for 1 second, go in the cookie jar, pull up, oh, motherfucker, you were in 3 hell weeks and finished 2. One of those hell weeks, a guy died because it was so bad. Oh, you are a motherfucking badass. You are. I put it back in the cookie jar and I remember who the fuck I really am. I'm not the kid that was called nigga. I'm not the scared kid. This is who I am. It's a reminder of who you truly are at the core of yourself. This is who I am. But what I was saying to myself the whole time on that track, this is who I am. Self-talk and visualization are the 2 keys to my success. I believe for that last 19 miles, I was indestructible. Because I took myself in that chair, crapping up my back, peeing blood in my leg, shin splints, stress fractures. I used